Oh,
All right, I'm gonna
I,
just start
I,
recording because like the time's like ticking. But yeah,
oh, yo, what's good?
what's good? What's good? We're here at the homies with the hanging. Oh my god, the hanging with the homies podcast with the talented. Hold on, I wrote this down. The talented photographer slash stand-up comedian slash teacher slash connoisseur of the city slash
Nice.
bibliophile, Josh Kandell. A round of applause, everyone.
I did not okay that biography, but okay, I'll take it.
Yo, I'm gonna be honest. Your photography is bomb as fuck. I like it a lot.
Thanks.
Yeah, I like it too.
Much love.
That's how I was like, okay, we'll put it. And I've seen you do stand up before and pretty much kill it. So I was like, okay, well we'll add that to the bio.
True. In the before times.
In the
Oh
before
yeah.
times. Also, Cesar, you've never seen Josh do stand up, right?
I haven't. I have never seen Josh do stand
You've
up.
never lived, my friend. That's all I can
Many
say.
have told me.
Yeah,
Was it
Josh-
really that good, or was it?
No, not really. No, it was fun. It was a really fun time. I think it was the first time you did it, right, Josh?
First time, yeah.
Did you ever do it again after that?
I never really had a chance. Just like kept putting off the next dates at that place, and then
Mhm.
eventually the pandemic hit, and I was like,
That was like a year later, though.
Was
you
it?
can't just eventually the pandemic hit that shit.
I honestly
at,
can't measure time anymore.
Did you do it at Pinche Gringo?
Where?
Yeah.
Yeah, where else? For sure.
Damn.
I've heard other people, like other stand-up comedians, talk about their first time and how they would just do it in some random place. And I
Yeah.
can't imagine that. Like, I am so happy that my first time on stage was witnessed by people I know, and that could like sort of remember that.
Right.
Yeah, the support,
Oh.
right? I guess, or no.
Like, well, no, I think it's just like my own personal feelings about like if I'm walking down the street and I trip and fall and nobody's there, it was pointless.
Mhm.
Oh, I see. Somebody
But
has
if
to see it. Yeah.
well, like it's just like for the enjoyment of other people. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's why we do this kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
kind of get that. It's very
Yeah, for
interesting because I'm a little afraid of bombing and crashing most of the time. But when it has to do with creativity and like expressing yourself, I'm very open to that. When it comes to like real life stuff, I'm very afraid of not doing well or not succeeding. That's
When
for
it comes
sure.
to like adult stuff.
Definitely. When it comes to like adult shit like bills and rent and work, I find
Yeah.
myself to be more aware. I've never done stand up, so like how was that whole thing? Like did you prepare it? Did you come up with some stuff? Was it original?
The last part original, I don't know. I would like to think yes. The preparation was more. I did prepare, but it also went out the door as soon as I got on stage. Like,
Really,
the whole thing was
kind of like giving classes.
well, not really. Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess
Nah.
I just sort of prepared some jokes, like outlines of what I wanted to talk about, and then like I didn't practice like in the mirror or anything. I was like, okay, I want to like
Right.
talk about this. This is the way I sort of, and it wasn't really like a routine, more of like things I've already discussed with friends or whatnot, like things I've
Right.
noticed in the city, etc. But literally, as soon as I got on stage, it was just like I don't know what I said. I don't know what happened.
Spooky stuff. And so like what kind of approach did you take? Like what kind of comedian did you try to like exemplify or like channel?
I didn't try to channel any specific comedian because I like comedians with different styles and also very
Okay.
physical, and I'm not like that. I just wanted to not be like other guys that I've seen here that are sort of very obvious about, or either about their identity, like, oh, I'm this, and they say like, I don't know, someone fat will always be like, oh, I'm gonna say fat jokes, or someone gay would be like, oh, I'm
like sticking to a safe zone.
Yeah.
You mean?
yeah, like, I mean, I'm Jewish, and so like it'd be easy to be like, oh, a Jewish joke, and it's like, who the fuck cares? Like, that's not who I am. And so it's more
Yeah.
like observational about different things. I think I did one on, I remember one joke, I had Troy in mind.
Really? Oh, I didn't think
Because
Cesar. Cesar, did you meet Troy? No, right?
I don't think I met Troy.
He's the
he's
strangest Canadian I've ever met.
so the thing, he's Canadian, right? And he's very proud
Damn.
about it. And
Wow.
he's so obvious about being Canadian that he seems like one of those Americans who are like, oh, if I travel abroad, I don't want other people to think I'm American because I don't know, the war in Iraq or whatever or something. So
Yeah,
they
he's too
pretend to be
American
Canadian.
about being Canadian.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So I did like a
Yeah.
kind of a joke about Americans pretending to be Canadian and how it's better to be a gringo because nobody has expectations of you.
True that.
Like if you say you're Canadian, people are like, oh, you must be nice and educated and like a decent person. But if you say you're a gringo, you like the expectation is on the floor. So if you just like don't shit yourself, people are like, oh wow, well done.
It also depends like where you're from. I think like here people love gringos.
I
People
agree.
will put the bar way up. I mean, maybe if
That's
you're
true.
like on the other side of the hemisphere, people will be like, "Oh, you're."
But I don't think it's so much like putting the bar up as much as like cool. It's a gringo, you know. I don't because like what do you expect from a gringo? I mean, they're not gonna do anything for you. It's gonna invade your land. But no, I
I
don't
don't
think
know
there's
if
like
it's
an expectation.
maybe not an expectation, but a disdain or like a bar of like dislike or like a bar of what would it be? Maybe it is kind of like expectations of how you're gonna act and how you're gonna be with that society or that person, or if you're a tourist or like if you're a businessman, etc.
Oh, okay. You mean like on their behavior?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I don't
We're
know.
talking, but Josh is the one with the firsthand knowledge here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not that gringo.
I'm not green. We're
Sure.
not
Well-
gringo.
Well, Cesar, you would know based on what your family back in your old town say about me when I visited. Like,
Dude, they fucking love you. They love you.
But that's because Josh is lovable. I don't know if it's because he's gringo. Yeah.
I mean, they call him the gringo. Your friend Josh, the gringo, gringo. You know, like the mole man.
The
That was really
man.
cool. How did you feel about that? Was it a whole different culture, a whole different world for you?
honestly, one of the like, if I had to think of the highlights of the last 6 years of living in Mexico, the 3 trips I've made to Tlacotepec de Juarez
Yeah.
were like top.
Nice. We had
Without
some
a
good
doubt.
times. We had some good times.
Yeah. It's also fun. So kind of connecting those two things, like being gringo and expectations and stuff, I could also have this weird way of crossing certain boundaries, like the mole. Like it was very obvious that in that town, only women touch the food and make the food. And I was allowed to sort of fuck with the food because I'm not from there. So there wasn't like, oh, what is he doing? It was kind of like, oh yeah,
I
he
see.
he doesn't know that this is
You get a
for
pass
women.
for certain
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, essentially.
That mole was bomb though.
Yeah.
That mole was fucking delicious. No, I think everyone was I was surprised. I thought people were gonna be more guarded towards you. People just let you in. People just upright just started talking to you, chilling out, asking you shit, just including you in every conversation about anything. I was like, wow, Josh really just chameleoned his way into like Pueblo
But isn't
life.
that like most small town people? Like, you know, just being very open or no?
I think it depends on the town.
Well, I'm asking because I've never been to that specific town. So I don't know if that's just how they are.
I think it would be different if I just showed up off the bus alone and had I not come
Definitely.
with you.
Uh-huh.
Definitely.
Like because I came with you, you were sort of like they were like, okay, he came with Cesar.
He's cool.
He's good people.
Yeah.
I just showed up
Yeah.
like with a backpack and like, hey, how's it going?
Howdy.
Yeah, but it got to the point where I didn't even have to introduce him to anyone. Like you went for like you went for a velorio, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there was a lot of random people there that would just talk. I didn't introduce him. I didn't go, oh, this is Joshua. This is my
I
friend.
see.
And
So just
people
in
just like
general.
just in general, people were just like, yo, what's up with this random dude? You know.
He's
I think-
lost.
I also think
Jewish?
having Yuri around helped a lot. She's a good icebreaker. Like she's good with talking with people. Just
That's true.
she was a good link. Yeah, I had a lot of fun when you went. I usually have a lot of good times when I go to that town. It's very peaceful. It's very relaxed for me. You know, maybe one day we can take Kika here.
Yeah. Where
Yeah, you
is
gotta
that?
go.
It's in the deep south of Puebla, near Tehuacan, near Oaxaca.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm curious, Josh. Why would you put it in your top 3 of experiences in Mexico?
It was like a few things. One is like the top one was just having Cesar, like in our relationship and our friendship, having Cesar like bring me there meant a lot. It's sort of like
Oh,
if you're dating someone and they bring you to meet their parents and shit, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, like you're allowed into the inner circle in a way.
that's a good
And so it
feeling.
was important in terms of the first time especially, it was like an important moment in our friendship.
Yeah, that's pretty
the other
dope.
part the other part was just like your family is like, just I could listen to their stories for a month straight. Like your uncle just like had like literally my cheeks and stomach were hurting every time I went back to Mexico City because it was just so much laughing and like literally some of the funniest people I've met, and it was like really nice. And
Yeah.
then it's just beautiful, like one of the most
Yeah, it's
beautiful places
nice.
I've been to. Just
It's
quiet.
nice.
Your grandma's house is just like super chill.
Right? It's pretty cool. It's very homely, I think.
Those
Very
tacos de carnitas are bomb as fuck.
dude, those are fucking crazy, man. The size of a fucking arm. True Santo Brazo.
Damn, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, them motherfuckers were big. Yeah.
Oh,
That was a good experience.
That's like a whole other topic of like living in Mexico City. Like you're so used to like these shitty little tacos in a way, like little
Ooh.
tortillas, and then
Yeah.
you go to the provincia and you order a taco and it's like a fucking quesadilla size, and you're just like, wow, this is one taco. Oh my god.
Yeah. I
you
ordered
definitely
3.
get used to the tiny ones
Yeah.
with the lemons that have like 0% juice.
Oh
Fuck,
no,
what
those
the
are
hell?
the worst. Those are the worst. I hate lemons. Dried up, nasty, old, sour lemons
It's like,
are the
why are you
worst
giving me
shit
these? Just
ever.
don't give me anything. You're just getting
Exactly.
my
Like,
hopes up.
why take your time to even cut this shit? Like, you should have stopped and like just tell people you ran out of it because this is an abuse. I don't not like dry
Where do
limones.
these like? Is this like a dry lemon tree? Because like there's so many of these dry lemons in Mexico City.
I think it's just the time people hold on to their lemons. They don't get fresh
Oh
product.
yeah,
You know, that's probably
they're
it.
like, fuck it.
Yeah. If you have a taco stand and you're listening to this shit, get some fresh ass limones, fresh ass salsa, fresh ass veggies. The oil you can recycle, like I don't care. But like if you have a taco stand and you don't have fresh shit, I'm gonna go berserk. I'm gonna not pay you.
Oh, no. That's fair. Like you're paying for the whole thing. But you know, I actually recently saw a video where it shows kind of like the difference between ordering tacos and ordering a pizza. So like when you order a taco, they give you like 2 different salsas, they give you the vegetables, they give you the lemons. And if you're lucky, if you order a pizza, they'll give you a packet of ketchup. So like the
That's true.
experience is very different.
That's true though.
So there's
Yeah,
a pizza spot in my neighborhood that I've recently discovered that's really good. And the first couple times I went, the same thing. Like they asked me if I wanted chile seco or anything. And I was like, yeah, give me some chile seco. And like very conservative with it. And then like maybe the 4th or 5th time I went, the dude recognized me and he just gave me a whole fucking pack of like salsa and chile seco. And I was like,
Nice.
in.
Nice.
You have to gain their trust.
Yeah.
Damn.
Are you still living in the Revolucion area?
Yeah, same apartment in Santa Maria la Ribera.
God damn. You're there for the long run and you're still discovering places.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit different now. It's like the opposite. Well, actually, yeah, because like so many places have closed for the pandemic, but like there's new places opening up, and because I can't really travel around the city because I'm not going out to bars or anything, it's sort of you're kind of stuck in the neighborhood, which is nice. So you get to explore different things. But
yeah, actually, recently I went out with Ben, and he was like complimenting the place where you live so much. He was like, "Oh my God, Josh's apartment is like the best place ever." Because he said like outside it looks all ghetto, but inside it looks like nice.
that's what I love about
It's a
true?
dope pad.
places in
It
Mexico
is a
City.
dope pad. It's a dope as fuck pad, yeah.
I don't know. I liked Caesar's place that was near Bellas Artes. Did you ever go, Josh?
Bellas Artes. I don't think so.
It was,
Yeah,
right?
in front of
Or
Revolucion.
Revolucion, my
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. Josh spent the night there too.
Oh, and in San Rafael in the UVM?
Yeah. Next to the UVM. That was a chill zone. That was a chill spot.
Yeah. Next to the Jehovah's Witnesses.
Fuck yeah. Nah, they were Masons. No, they were fucking
Masons.
Freemasons, dude.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that shit was weird. They would like in the middle of the night, if I was out and about, I'd just see people in hooded robes walking into this like temple shit, and I'd be like, "Whoa!"
You didn't want to go? Like, you weren't like ever curious?
Not really. I'm not into like
Freemasonry?
followings of people. I don't know. It was more spooky because you'd hear like chanting and shit and like
Mhm.
random yelling, and it'd just be
Random
part of the
yelling.
ambient, you know? It'd be part of the whole ambient. Because also in front of, so it was a weird place because I would live next to UVM, next to the Freemasons, and then in front was the fucking military academy.
Hell yeah.
So like sometimes in the morning, you just get the trumpet, just like, oh fuck my life, just like, oh, so loud, so obnoxious.
Mhm.
That was a very freaky place, full of a lot of sounds, full of a lot of vivid sounds. Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah,
Definitely different sounds from what you usually get.
yeah, definitely.
You're in Azcapotzalco, right, Kike?
Yeah, that's couple represent.
Because it's like
Nice.
super quiet up there.
Are you kidding me? There's this guy screaming paleta.
That's everywhere in the city.
That's everywhere though.
No, but like every 5 seconds there's somebody. There's like a bun, and then there's that. My worst, like the one I hate the most is like that one. I don't even know how to describe the sound. It's just like a
camotero?
screeching.
The
Yes, you already
camotero?
knew it.
Damn.
I
It's
fucking
like,
hate that shit.
Me too. I do too.
like, why? Who do they actually get business? I would not want
think
to
so.
buy
I think they're
anything if I
popular.
hear that.
I've never seen anyone eat them.
And I've never seen any. I don't even know. Like, I haven't even seen camotes. I'm not even sure
They're
what
like
they
orange.
are.
They're like sweet potatoes, no?
Why?
Yeah, but they're super, super, super sweet.
So there's
It's
these
like-
nasty things with the nasty sound. It's just amazing to me how they keep getting business.
Old people love that shit. It's like a good like nostalgia thing for them, I think.
That's true.
You know?
Maybe.
It's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
like our no se compra
Colchón.
that person, that shit's gonna be nostalgic for us when we're old, you know?
Do
Yeah, but you
think
could
it's gonna
ignore it
go
if it's
away?
happening in the street.
Yeah,
You can't
it's just
ignore the
happening.
camotero.
Yeah, you can't ignore the.
You cannot. I would really love to like go around and record all of the different sounds people use to sell their products and kind of just like listen through it and like pick my favorite ones. I remember back when I lived in Nessa, there was this guy who would sell donuts, and like I don't know if that's what was his intent, if his microphone was shitty, if his loudspeaker was shitty, but all you would hear was like and like I for the longest time would go, what in the fuck is that? Until one day I went out and he was like, oh yeah, I'm selling donuts. And I was like, what? I didn't ask him, yo, is your microphone fucked up? Is your sound speaker fucked up? No, that's just how he made the sound. Literally, he would hold the mic and just go, you know?
He was a failed
Like-
beatboxer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Probably, it sounds like it.
It sounded kind of
Literally.
fire. It sounded kind of fire. It had a good tone.
You're like, okay, what's this?
But I would really like to like really take in the sounds of the city like that. I think there's a lot of different ways people express themselves.
I don't think you need to record it in order to experience it. You just need to like sit in your room all day and then you'll hear all
Nah,
the
because
sounds.
I just get the same ones. I get the same loop.
Oh, you mean from
The
the
same loop.
different?
Yeah,
okay,
from
I see.
different places
Yeah,
in
in different
the city
zones you
and
get
stuff.
different
Yeah,
sounds.
definitely. Yeah. Yeah, because if I sit here, it's the same like agua bonafont, like gas, the little bell ringing for the trash, some random guy who sells bread sometimes you can hear, but it's always the same cycle, same people. And I'd like to go around and like see what other people hear and like compare the sounds and shit. Be a cool little
For me, it was
documentary.
like really bizarre when I first came to Mexico and I started hearing these sounds. But what about for you, Josh? Was that a weird thing, or were you just like, this is the normal thing here?
So now it's normal to the point where when if I go somewhere that's outside of Mexico City, within Mexico, or I go back to New York, it's very obvious the lack of noises. Like it's so
So in
quiet.
New York, there's nothing like that.
No, it's just like people honking horns and yelling and ambulances and shit, or like sirens.
Also,
But, like, there's
Mexico City sounds.
Yeah.
but there's no like human sounds like that really.
Mhm.
that are common, let's say.
Mhm.
But when I first moved to Mexico, I was living in Coyoacan in a house that was sort of like one of those Coyoacan houses that didn't really have windows that
Yeah.
went to the street. So I was just like, hear these fucking noises. And like when you don't know what's happening and you can't see anything and it's nighttime, you're just like, what? Like,
Are these
should I be
Freemasons?
scared?
Or-
Should I be scared? What's going on here?
yeah.
It's
So
very
it took,
interesting.
yeah, I was kind of freaking out for a little bit. But then like once I saw the people who made the noise, I was like, okay.
Yeah, you kind of put two and two together.
Yeah. It's a very interesting culture, no?
Yeah.
You only find it here. Like
I wonder how far back it goes. Also,
yeah.
like who's the first guy that was like, I'm just gonna yell it, like fuck it, let's see who comes out.
It's a fucking genius move, though.
Paleta.
Genius as fuck.
It actually
like,
is. I hate to admit it, but it is.
like I've gone out and bought shit from people yelling just because I hear them yell. Like tamales. Oh, when I hear a tamale car, my ears perk up and I'm like,
Like, hold up.
yo, well, give me a second. Hold up. You might give me one of these tamales. But I think it's really smart. I think it's just really like ingrained in our culture to be out there as Mexicans in a way, kind of like.
Yeah, no one's
nothing.
gonna complain about it.
Yeah, no one complains about it. It's like a norm already. It's super efficient. Instead of like having to rent a local, you just walk around. You're a traveling salesman,
fuck it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I'm actually pretty interested in like the culture shock that Josh might have gone through because like I came to Mexico, but I had visited Mexico before as a kid. So all these sounds and things were normal. For you, Josh,
So you were
what
kind
was
of
like
expecting it. Okay.
yeah, I was kind of like expecting it, like the gas person, the water person, la pipa, esto, lo otro. I was used to it. Like I kind of got here and I just acclimated normally. But like for you, Josh, what was the one thing that like cost you the most? Like except for the language, not counting the language.
That's a really good question. I don't know if I could answer that because I only really recognize like what is different when people come to visit. Because at this point I'm so used to things that when people come to visit for the first time and they say, what the hell is that? And I say, oh yeah, that's whatever. And then I remember like, oh yeah, I also didn't know. That was like, what did that sound mean? Like, oh, that's the bell for the garbage man. Okay,
So
now
you're
I
just
know.
reminded of it until somebody else mentions it.
Yeah, because I think it's hard to remember. Like, there's certain things that are hard to remember for culture shock that I've become so used to now. That's like second nature.
Like for me, I remember I used to live in Mexico, but just until I was 5, and then I don't remember the rest from that. So I remember like super clear the first day that I got here. Do you?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
What?
Not really.
Wow.
I was young. How old were you when you got here?
I got here in 2015.
6
That
years
wasn't that long
ago.
ago.
Yeah.
Not that long ago. Did I meet you the year you got here?
I think so.
Huh. Interesting. You seem very acclimated. You were already like on the move. Like,
On the move.
Well, the thing is, Mexico City, to be honest, it's a very easy city to get used to if you're used to big cities. Like coming from New York.
Right.
Coming from New York, it really like, okay, I understand how a
point.
metro works. I understand how buses work. I understand how I could walk. Like, there wasn't really a lot to sort of get used to aside from the language and sort of these idiosyncrasies of Mexico City or whatever. But like, it's very easy to get in and sort of explore.
Oh, that must have been cool because like when I first met you, it was we were both working at Jorgel. And I remember you were already very like knowledgeable of the surroundings. I think even more than me. I think you have more city knowledge than I do. And you'd be like,
more than me also.
There's some bomb ass tacos over there. There's some yummy ass burgers over here. If you go over there, there's this, I feel like you got out there. You came here and you were like, yeah, I want to experience what this is,
Yeah, like, I mean, I decided to stay because every fucking corner has something interesting. Like, I would walk down streets and then like every turn I would look down the street and be like, I want to see what's down there. And so
That's
and
scary.
A little dangerous, but I
That's
admire that.
dangerous. Scary.
not really because I didn't know things, I could walk places without fear. Like it was very obvious. Like
But fear doesn't imply it's not dangerous.
Yeah.
Just because
yeah, but
you're
I think
not
people
scared.
recognize that. Like when a good example outside of Mexico is when I went to Peru.
Okay.
I stayed in this hostel because I was too cheap. I stayed in this hostel near the airport, which is like essentially like where all the prostitutes are. It's just like sex hotels and shit. And so it's really sketch. And I didn't know that. And so I was just like walking around and like people would tell me like, you need to get out of here. Like this is dangerous.
Oh my God.
So you think people kind of exaggerate a little bit?
No, but people were like looking out for me because it's like, oh, you're lost and you're not sort
Aware.
of, yeah, you're not aware of it. Like even if I have street smarts are also very specific to a place. Like if I go to maybe the best example, like Tepito or whatever, right?
Right.
If you go to Tepito, it's like, okay, I know how maybe I should dress or what I should look out for.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to do certain things. But the first couple times I went, I didn't know. And so, but nothing happened. But I think it's,
Yeah, he got his Rolex on.
yeah.
Gucci.
I don't know. I think it's like sort of like
Yeah.
primal. Like people kind of recognize if you're fearful or not, and that attracts bad attention. I don't know.
Yeah, because also if you're very hyper aware of like, oh, I have my 10,000 peso phone, I have this, I have that. People catch on to that shit. Like
People smell it.
People smell it in the air. But if you're just like all like nonchalant walking through these streets, it's like, oh, this homie knows what's like going on. He probably isn't carrying anything of importance, you know? Yeah, I can see that. Tepito's scary. Why the hell would you go to Tepito?
It's awesome.
It's not awesome.
I'm assuming you like the markets, right?
Yeah, the market but it's also like, it's very historical. There's a lot of history there. I mean, it's really accessible. Like if I take my bike on Reforma, you can get in really easily. So I mean, yeah, there are parts that are probably like really sketch that I shouldn't go to, but also, I mean, it's all relative. It's just, I don't know.
That's dope. That's dope. I like that. I have a hard time going to those places. I think I'm a little too aware of myself, you know? I wish I was a little bit more free though, so I could like visit more deep into those worlds. Because you're right, there is a lot of culture.
I think Josh probably knows more places in Mexico City than a good 60% of Mexicans.
I would actually agree with that.
Because like
honestly.
That's because people allow me into their, I mean, working at like the way we worked, for instance, was always the best because I would take Pesero, talk to the people in the Pesero that earn like minimum wage, go give a class to like a multimillionaire bank executive and like be in charge of him for 4 hours, and then come out, sit down in a fonda next to like Godin that are, we're paying 50 pesos. And like, it was just like very easy to cross those boundaries, and being like a white gringo, people just sort of accept you no matter where you are. It's like a weird privilege in a way.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's cool that you take advantage, like in a good way, of that. Just like enjoy it.
Yeah, and it's like I really hate foreigners that come here and they just spend all the time in like Polanco, La Condesa, La Roma. It's like, why'd you come here? Just stay in Brooklyn. Stay.
Yeah. Damn, I haven't thought about that. There is a lot of people that don't go outside of those places, huh?
Yeah, because I mean, I know a lot of Mexicans that like they stay in the quote safe areas. They're like, no, I'm not gonna go to Tepito.
It's not even that safe either.
Yeah, that's why I'm the quotation marks. But yeah,
damn. What would your favorite area be, Josh, in the city?
That's a good question. I don't know. Depends. That's
would
a really
it be
good
where
question.
you live? Around that area, San Cosme, Santa Maria de Rivera.
I think we could make it a little bit more specific. Like where, like if you want to go just like thrift shopping, where is the place to go?
Ooh. Well, thrift shopping, pretty much any tianguis.
Yeah.
But there's no specific tianguis that you feel has more variety, or is it just like any tianguis is fine?
I mean, La Lagunilla, but like the real La Lagunilla, not the Antigüedades part.
Damn.
Like go into La Lagunilla and like where you can get like a michelada and just like hang out and like go shopping for shit and like there's everything.
Lagunilla is scary too.
Well, for
You're like
Josh, nothing
scary
is
places.
scary.
You're a fucking adrenaline junkie, Josh. I bet you.
I mean, it's not scary. It's fun. I think also like
I think you being a New Yorker has a lot to do with it. Maybe I'm
and
wrong.
I think it's also people laugh at me because of my accent, because I could, like, if I'm talking to somebody, I don't know, like you guys in Spanish, we're talking kind of normal, but like if I'm talking to a taxi driver or something, then I turn up my Chilango accent
Nice.
because
Okay.
it's like I know, it's like
I'm not
almost
trying to
to
get
like
charged
I
extra.
know, yeah, I know what's going on. I'm not
Yeah,
new,
Yeah.
but also it's
You
sort of
can't
funny.
chamaquearme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also
Huh.
funny because people are like, who's this fucking gringo talking like, I don't know, some random ass Chilango.
Yeah. Where did you learn all those ways of thinking through like learning pains? Did you get got by taxi drivers? Did you get got by peceros? Were these things that you had to learn, or you kind of just knew about it? You felt it out.
It's just street smarts, like
Yeah.
in a way. I mean, the specificity of here of like certain words and phrases was specific, but generally, like if you go to Tokyo, it would be the same thing. Like you got to learn certain things.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I thought I wasn't recording. I was like, fuck. No, but yeah, I'm recording.
Damn.
Got scared
The
for a second.
production value.
What were you saying about Tokyo?
Did you guys have family that
What?
sort of like said, "Don't go here, don't do this"?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's how most Mexicans are. There's areas you don't go.
Yeah.
I actually like going to these places, but most of my friends, they're like, no, we're not gonna. But I admire you, Josh, in that you just kind of go by yourself. But I don't know. I still like struggle a little bit to chill out by myself. I still feel a little weird, hanging out by
Mhm.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Very Mexican.
were you always like that, Josh? Like, or do you feel like that's like more of an American thing to just be able to chill by yourself outside?
I think it's like a personal thing, but also personal because of culture. Like in New York, if I was working a weird job with weird schedules, like I could go see a movie in the afternoon
Uh-huh.
like by myself or go to eat on my own or do something, and there was no big deal.
Yeah.
Whereas Mexicans, I can't imagine going someplace alone. I mean,
Yeah. We're very groupy.
Yeah.
We're groupies.
We are.
it has its benefits, obviously.
I get what you're saying though, but because when I first got here, I did have a very like solo dolo mentality. So like I would go teach a class or whatever, and then if I had like 3 or 4 hours, I'd just go watch a movie or like
Yeah, but that's because of,
You
I
know?
think particularly because our job was kind of jumping around places. So I mean, you didn't really have any other choice.
Nah.
But like I'm talking about a weekend, like going out.
Oh
by yourself.
yeah, like also that too. I've always been a little antisocial, kind of,
Oh yeah.
Just
Okay,
like,
I'm the weird one
like
here.
going out and about, like where I used to live in that Revolucion area. That was such a great place because I could go to the tianguis by myself and
Yeah.
like go eat some yummy food, go buy some cool plants, or I could go to Revolucion and just chill out at Robo.
Yeah, that place
Bellas
is
Artes
chill.
wasn't that far. I could go there. I don't know. I've always been kind of like, but I feel like Josh does it more. Like it's more of a state of his life because I also seek people. Like I don't like going out by myself completely all the time because it does get a little bored. I think I'm boring. I think I'm boring to myself at this point, and so like I do like enjoying situations and moments with people, but they have to be very specific people. I don't like hanging out with randos. I don't know.
See,
Okay.
I kind of see it as like being alone and being lonely.
Mhm.
Like when I do things alone, I'm never lonely because being in a city like this, let's say if I go get tacos, I'll start talking to somebody. It's like I love like just random strangers. I love those fucking encounters because you don't know where it's gonna take you.
Damn.
And so like even if I go alone somewhere, like I'm alone and then I'm not with a friend or someone I know,
So you're always like open to
but I'm
making
with
new
people.
friends.
Yeah, like I think it
Well, not even new friends,
really,
just like more social, I guess, right?
so it really became obvious when the pandemic started, because I realized, I had all of these spots throughout the city that I would go to, whether it's like a cafe or taqueria or fonda or like
Yeah.
just people on the street that I would see very often. And like you just have like a conversation with them, and it wasn't serious, but it was like part of your life, and like you would be social. So like being alone doesn't necessarily mean like being silent and being, keeping to yourself the whole time.
Yeah, because when I go out by myself, that's what I do. I don't really talk to random people. But
you also don't call attention to yourself. Like nobody's like, oh, you're different. Nobody's seeing you and saying you're different, but they see me and they see, oh, you're different.
Yeah.
I think you can breach a conversation easier that way because they're already curious.
There's an icebreaker.
Yeah.
But in any case, I like that. I mean, I don't know if I told you, Josh, but I'm going to be moving. So,
where are you going?
To Cancun. So I definitely want to like try being more social. I think it could be fun. Just like talking to more people. So that's a cool.
Might be easier for you because you'll be new.
Yeah, I want to take that as like
will recognize you, so it'd be sort of like, oh, who's the new guy?
Yeah,
I'm hoping that will impulse it a little bit. All right, so
how are you doing with that? Is that scary? Like taking that decision of moving?
Yeah, it was. I mean, the thing is, I've been thinking about it ever since I took the decision, which was like last November. So I mean, after
2020.
a while,
2020 November, yeah.
After a while, when you think about something for so much, it just the fear, like it gets boring to be afraid. So I mean, I don't really feel anything now. I'll probably feel something like the day before, but it's not the first time I move, so I don't think it'll be that bad.
Is it the first time you move by yourself, or are you going with family?
I've moved by myself, but here in the city.
Okay.
I lived with a couple of roomies. It was a really fun time. But it's the first time I guess I moved to a different city by myself.
Damn.
So I think it'll be a pretty cool experience. So I don't want that conversation to get cut though. So we'll go ahead and pause it here, and then we'll take it back in a second. Alrighty?
Hell yeah.
All right, so I'll send y'all the link.
You've got like a legit mic.
Yeah, he has like a legit mic.
Yeah, it's not as expensive as you would think.
Whoa.
Sponsor, Jurgle sponsor.
I'm going to turn off my virtual background.
That's cool. You got a little plug. Maybe we'll get a bit of money from.
Getting that bag, getting that Jorgaletta.
But how are you going to Cancun? Are you going to drive? Are you going to fly?
No, I'm going to take a flight.
I had this romantic vision of you just like going on like a road trip all the way down.
Me too, on a horse.
I would go on a road trip, but I felt like in a pandemic, like the safest way would be in a flight. Like if it were a normal circumstance,
place with hundreds of people, yeah.
I mean, I'm also I'm not as adventurous. I mean, I tried to be, but I'll get there. I definitely want to road trip around the south of the country once things calm down a little bit. So that's
Mexico's kind of scary to road trip, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Not for Josh.
I mean, road tripping is different, though.
Do you road trip, Josh?
Do you road trip?
No, I don't road trip.
Okay, it's scary, right? That shit's scary, man.
I just don't have a car. I've thought about buying I really, really want an old taxi, like just a fucking Nissan Suru. Avocho would be nice though, because there's parts everywhere. So if you break down in some random pueblo, they could have parts.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if I'd drive out to places. Like you hear about all these emboscadas and stuff, and like people just getting murderized because they just drove through the wrong place.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like you're driving
through severe, man. Yeah, that's severe.
But Josh, if you had a car, would you?
Hell yeah.
All right. Yeah. If you ever get a car, let me know, and then let's road trip.
I'll drive down to Cancun. We can do.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. I think driving down south is safer than going up north. Honestly.
Probably, I think.
You know.
really do want to do a northern road trip though. Like I think it'd be amazing, especially on the peninsula from Tijuana de La Paz, like Baja California Peninsula would be
That's not that bad.
amazing.
I'm talking more like central north, like Sinaloa and like all those places, Michoacan, all those places.
Yeah, that's true. It's a little bit different.
Like more
Yeah.
like the narco states.
Yeah, those are kind of tough.
Yeah, that would be a little sus. But yeah,
So you're gonna fly to Cancun.
that's right. It's also my first time flying alone.
That's why you're not taking all your stuff.
Yeah, it's just I want to save as much money as possible because I don't really have a job right now.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
So I was like, just the essentials, just you know.
Do you have a place to stay?
Yeah, I rented an Airbnb for a month, and then in that time, I'm gonna be looking for something, looking for a job, looking for a place.
Is it a good, nice Airbnb?
Yeah, I mean, I was mostly focused on it just having like the essentials. So like a
Gotcha.
washing machine, dryer, kitchen.
Doesn't have a personal cenote next door.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I couldn't
It's not
afford that
beachside?
one. No, but it's like 5 minutes from the beach. So the thing is, I feel like Cancun is not really that big, so you can get to the beach really quickly.
That's true.
So like on the Airbnb, it says like you just take a bus in, and it's like 5-10 minutes.
Have you been to Cancun, Josh?
Never.
Damn, we should all just go and visit Kike after the pandemic, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah,
And that's
that
the
would be
only
cool.
reason I would go
Yeah, actually, I'm
to
not a
visit
big,
somebody.
I'm not a big beach person.
I mean, either.
Why?
I just want to eat
Sun
some
hurts.
like legit cochinita pibil.
Sun hurts.
Oh yeah, dude, what happened to fucking Cochinita Pibil place, man?
What
I went-
place?
I went back to look for it, and it's not there anymore.
Cochinita power, or which place?
No, it was in.
That's
It
a
was
dope
behind
name.
my apartment, like a few blocks. It was like this
Oh,
little
yeah,
tiny
yeah, yeah.
Cochinita Pibil place.
With the dog.
Yeah, and the dope ass like salsa and chilies.
Dude, I don't know where he went, but
Gonzo's.
I've dreamed. Okay,
I
Kike,
dreamed.
Kike, this guy had the best fucking cochinita, and like his salsas,
Dude.
his salsa casera was out of this world.
It was amazing.
Yeah, and
Literally.
then he
Yeah.
just disappeared one day. Now it's a fucking dentista.
Damn.
Yeah, there
What a
was no
change.
sign, no nothing. Like it was
Is-
really good. Like the panuchos were.
And like it's those little things that I miss about not being in the pandemic. Like just going outside.
Yeah, me too. I miss the
Being-
movies actually. I miss the movies a lot.
the
I like
movies.
going to the movie theater.
Yeah.
Damn. And
Hanging
you,
out.
Josh? Do you
Really
miss
miss-
the movies or not?
Totally, like 100%. Like it sounds cliche for people who know, but like I really do miss Cineteca Nacional
Ooh yeah.
Oh.
because I'm such
Yeah.
such a voyeur and like I just
Mhm.
love people watching.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you
Mm.
can go there and just people watch and just
Oh, so
see-
not even to go and watch a movie.
Watch movies.
yeah, but you get there
stare at
early or
people.
whatever because it's far. You know, Coyoacan's far from where I live, so like you
Oh,
got to get
okay.
there early.
For real? Isn't it just the blue line?
Nah, you got to take it all the way. Blue
It's
line
in
to green
it's near
line.
Metro Coyoacan, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
Yeah. I
you
guess
just
it
walk a
is
little
not
bit.
far.
Close. I mean, relative to Mexico City distances,
Right.
far.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, like you go there and then like, yeah, watching Netflix is totally different than seeing a movie on a big screen with people and like seeing how they react to things.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
It's a whole it's like the whole ambient, it's like a whole feeling.
Yeah,
The
yelling
overpriced
at someone who's
popcorn.
looking at their phone.
Little popcorn and shit. Being annoyed by people laughing too loud.
Yeah, I think I heard somebody talk about it, and they were saying that the thing is like it used to be kind of like a whole ritual that you did, like you got ready, you had to actually get there. There's a whole process and
Yeah.
the whole experience. It's not just watching a movie; it's everything that comes with that.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's kind of true. Kind of true. Yeah, the popcorn is probably the thing I miss the most about it. Not even gonna
Yeah,
lie
that
to
shit
y'all.
was yummy.
I really like
It wasn't
that
even
popcorn.
that yummy. It just fit really well with the scenario,
Like the
It's a
butterier,
social
the
thing,
better.
though. Yeah, like eating popcorn at home isn't as good as eating popcorn.
I just
It's
feel
all
like it's not as
greasy and
buttery.
nasty. Yeah.
Or maybe I just need to put more butter on it.
It's been a whole year almost, huh, man? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Long ass time.
I feel like we'll be back to normal sooner than we think. That's kind of my opinion, because I talked about like this a lot with some people because I like to hear what they think. But my kind of theory is that like once we get like the older people vaccinated, I mean they're the ones that are mostly being in the hospitals and everything. So you'll probably start seeing hospitalizations go down a lot, and then there's just be more room in the hospitals for anybody that's young that ends up getting really sick. So I don't know. I think that it'll probably be much more chill near the end of the year. What do y'all think?
Another year?
No, near the end of the year.
Well, we were at the beginning of it, so like 12 months or like now or like
I was thinking like near fall.
Near fall. That's still a long ass time. 7 more months? It's a long ass time.
But in terms of pandemic time, I think it's not that much.
That would have made this pandemic last like a year and 7 months. That is crazy. That's a lot of time for some people.
I mean, people were predicting it was going to last a lot longer. So I was just looking at it like from that perspective. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, people were saying like we would be locked up till like 2022, like in semáforo rojo type locked up.
Well, I don't know. Mexico's kind of bad. I don't know how Mexico's going to do, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't think it's ever going to end.
Like, I don't think it's ever good.
It's just going to be part of our life.
I think so.
You think so, Josh?
I mean, yeah.
But like,
people
what's going to be
here
part
with, like,
of
taking care of
the lives? Just wearing masks everywhere? Or...
I'm cool with mask wearing. Like people hate it. I really enjoy wearing masks.
Okay. I really don't. Mostly because of the glasses. Like
that's true.
Actually, yeah, me
true.
too. I fucking hate wearing masks with my glasses.
Like obviously I'll wear it, but I don't enjoy it.
Fucking fogging up my glasses all the fucking time and like having to adjust your mask under your glasses. I feel like I'm already breaking like 20 rules of coronavirus by like adjusting my mask into my eyes. Defeats the purpose.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's interesting that you say, Josh, that you think it won't go away.
I don't think it'll go away, but I also think I have this discussion with friends all the time about like, are we entering a new 1920s? Like, like people are just gonna get to the point where we're just gonna go balls to the wall and like go out, you know, want to be with people. Like I'm desperate to just be in a sweaty fucking club. Like that's all I want.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
just be in the fucking metro de Hora Pico, just like having
just
someone's nasty, disgusting, sweaty pit in your face.
I don't miss that part.
Not to that extent, but like it's also just.
But I know
like,
what you mean. I know what you mean. So like
I feel like you're gonna die because of just be inconvenienced and like grossed out, but not think you're gonna die because of being squished with people.
Yeah. So like when would you say? I think the parameter everyone's looking for is when do you think the bars will be open? So what would you put a date on that ish?
I mean, it's just gonna happen and organically. People are just gonna start going out and
fuck it.
Yeah. I mean,
I promise you that by summer, some bars will start opening for sure.
I agree with you. I think it's gonna be slow, but that will probably be a starting point. Again, because I think the vaccination is gonna have a lot to do with it. Maybe I'm overconfident in it. But I don't know. I feel like because like it's not a new thing that we have a virus, you know, like because influenza was big before, and then we got a vaccine for it. It
wasn't that big though, I think.
Yeah, but it wasn't that big because the world wasn't as globalized, I think, and
millions of people died.
Yeah.
I mean that's the truth. That's why I'm saying
truth.
like it's a similar situation. I'm not saying it's the same, but it's a similar type of deal. So it's not like we've never, ever been through anything. It's just our reaction to it, I think, was a little bit different this time. Well, a lot of bit different. Like the economy closed for a long time for a lot of people.
Yeah, no, it was pretty bad. Very disorganized.
Yeah,
I feel like we failed a lot of people. I think we should have like before it escalated so much, just taking it serious. I feel like a lot of people just, especially here in Mexico, I feel like a lot of people we're so distrusting of like the government and like people in power and medicine, and like there's just like this high disdain for like someone telling you wear a mask because it's safe for you. No. They're telling us to wear a mask because of this political ass thing. And I think it's okay because that's what the government has shown people here, that we cannot trust it, that there's always a reason because, you know, like, es la cortina de humo, or like they're just trying to like cause something so that we don't see what's going on in the background. So I think like here, that distrust made it explode like crazy. Like I think we're like number 3 in deaths now, like worldwide. Like that's insane, you know, like it's pretty bad here. Like the amount of people that are getting sick and dying here, it's starting to get to like a climax. And I still see people out and about without face masks, without precaution, with no care. I still hear parties going on all the time around me.
Yeah, you see it on the news all the time. And
Yeah.
like you said, you didn't even have to go to the news. Like you said, it's just like near you.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm kind of with Josh, and this might just be part of our lives until everyone gets vaccinated. And I think that's going to take years. I think there's a lot of Mexicans.
Because Mexicans won't have, like, if they're barely doing it now, they're not going to have the endurance to do it for years. So I don't think it's possible or sustainable. I mean, I'm not saying it shouldn't be sustainable. I'm just saying I don't think it is sustainable to expect people to behave to the bare minimum that they've been behaving up till now.
No, I don't think the quarantine might be forever, but I think this sickness, people getting sick and it being a scary thing.
Coronavirus isn't going away, of course.
Yeah. And I feel it's just going to be a longer time here. Maybe the quarantine will reach like yellow light and green light, and there'll be just like more separation of people. But I think this is going to be here for the long run. Like, it's going to be part of the culture. Coronavirus is now officially part of like culture here.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like the new flu season, but it's coronavirus also.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel, you know?
It's just gonna take your risk in terms of when are you going to take risks to do certain things, and some people's threshold is going to be much lower than other people. But the thing that's interesting to me is living through the earthquake in 2017.
The difference in the response?
No, well, not
or what?
No, but like, so Cesar said, like the people immediately knew based on what happened in 85 and everything. The government was not going to be there. So we have to set up our own centros de acopio. We have to like get the brigadas, like the topos. Like everyone sort of did their part. Like for me, one of the most amazing moments of my life was that week of the earthquake, just seeing everyone get together and be like, okay, the government's AWOL, we have to do something. And it worked to the extent that everyone could sort of organize themselves. And like, it was this moment of solidarity in the city and like truly beautiful in the face of devastation. But with coronavirus, it's sort of this weird thing where the best thing you can do is to stay away from people.
Yeah.
And so like, we know that here in Mexico City, at least, we are capable of coming together and helping and like doing something. But with the coronavirus, there's like, okay, well, I can't do anything because if I do something, I could get sick or get someone else sick. And it just kind of fucked everything up in terms of how to help. And with the government being absent, no one really knew what to do. And so it was just, it's just like this weird fucked up situation where it's like, we can help, but because of the way the virus spreads, it's just not possible. It's just like a weird fucked up thing.
Interesting topic, because I think there's a lot of layers to that. Because I mean, one, in the situation of an earthquake, the thing about Mexicans, I feel like we're very like hermandad, like even like we go out in groups together because we like being in groups. So it was very natural to be like a team player in that case. But it's not natural for us to be just alone in our houses and not talk to anyone and not go outside and not go get carnitas. So it's just like, and I don't think people were not understanding, because I think it's really simple to understand what you need to do. People just don't care. There's just an apathy. So like, even with the distrusting, I feel like most people that go to parties, it's not because I don't trust the government, let's throw a party. It's just, I don't care, let's throw a party.
Exactly.
Like that ni modo.
Yeah, like pues ya ni
ni modo
pedo.
attitude.
That kind of vibe around it. So that was definitely like it was just an unprecedented thing to ask of the citizens. Um, so it was weird,
Do you
definitely, to
guys
see the
remember?
response.
So, I don't know about you guys because I was in Los Angeles visiting friends in February,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and that's when it was it was weird because like we would be out in bars and shit, and then if like the news was on in the TV screen or whatever, it would be like, oh, there's a sickness in China. So it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
almost in the background, and then by the time I was ready to come back to Mexico, it was like, oh, Italy and Spain are kind of fucked, and it's like, and then the airport in LA and then back in Mexico, like they're like, have you been to China in the last 10 days? And then I was like, oh, this might be serious. And then within
Mhm.
like 2 weeks, my friends and family in New York were telling me about, the city was just like dead. And like
Damn.
there's just constant sirens, the hospitals were collapsing.
Yeah,
And like here in Mexico, I'd come out on the street and like everyone was normal. And it was just like a weird mind fuck for me because like I was watching the news, hearing these things
yeah.
from my friends and family in New York, and like this is really bad. And
Mhm.
then on the street here, nobody was paying
Yeah,
attention. It was like a weird moment of like, am I crazy or should I
yeah,
be
yeah.
No,
worried?
I think like at the beginning people were, because I don't know if you remember all the pictures that people were taking of like how empty the city was. There's no cars anywhere. Like it was really, really empty. But just the endurance was not there. Like we
Nah.
could sustain that for like a week. And that's even in the news, they were saying that the sky was actually becoming clear because there's no cars and everything. But it was just we, like, as Mexicans, we don't have the endurance to not socialize that
Definitely,
much. I mean,
I
this is
agree
a
with
this
that.
is a country where like we do parties for every, we have excuse to party for every reason. There's partidos de fútbol, There's just, I feel like it's more social than the US. Like
But
there
yeah,
it's more,
Yeah,
I think that
definitely.
was a big factor in it.
but it's also like it's weird because the some of the best things about Mexican society were also what put Mexico at the biggest risk for a virus like this,
Yeah.
Exactly. I
Hmm.
completely agree with you.
which it's just like a weird fucked up like
It
thing.
is fucked up, honestly.
Hmm.
It's weird. Like yeah, it's weird. It's unfortunate that ah like that our kryptonite is literally, not being able to hang out with other people.
Yeah. Damn. Mexican culture is very complex. Like we've been through a lot as a civilization, I think.
Yeah.
Like it's a little sad, I think, because people are very apathetic about it and like I don't know. I read stories of how it affected families, like whole families, and like I know some people that it just like wasn't good times for them. They survived, but like it did affect their families in a way that I don't know. It just seems a little sad to me that people couldn't just go and just stay home or like I get it. Some people can't stay home, but like I feel like people just bullshit so much that they got used to it, and it isn't even apathy. It's more like an ignorance of like the people around you, and like just a total like unawareness of like the whole of society. It makes me feel less hope
Mhm.
for togetherness or like for us to move forward as a culture or thing. I feel like people are just too entitled to their own needs,
I
and
mean,
that kind
that's
of
the thing,
fucked
like,
with me at the
because
beginning. That kind
like
of fucked me up
with the
a little.
earthquake, we saw that we're capable of doing that. It's just specifically,
But it was only 1 week, man. Like, and it was like utter destruction. Like, it was physical destruction.
Mhm,
And like for this, it takes more of a self responsibility.
mhm,
For that, there was no rules of like, hey, don't pick up that rock. No, it was like try to do as much as you can, as fast as you can, because we're in a state of shock, in a state of crisis. And
mhm.
in this, I just feel like there was just a complete disregard. Like, I don't care. Like, because they couldn't see it or because they couldn't exhibit or they couldn't like feel it, they were just like, I don't care, like whatever.
Have you
I
guys seen
uh-huh.
Chernobyl?
Oh, I
Yeah, that shit's
haven't. I
crazy.
haven't.
That
Is it
shit's
good?
crazy. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I keep I've kept thinking about Chernobyl during the pandemic, because it's sort of the same
It
in the sense
is.
that you have a fucked up political system where you don't know if you
Yeah.
should trust the government or not.
Uh-huh.
Plus, the danger is invisible. Like
Yeah.
like if you touch something that's radioactive, you don't know, and the
Yeah.
effect will be felt later on.
Exactly.
And so it's the same thing where it's like with the earthquake, okay, that building's collapsed. There's people in there. We have to do something. Oh,
Yeah.
that person lost their home. We can feed them. It's like
Yeah.
very, very, 1 + 1 = 2. You know exactly
Yeah.
what to do. And with
Mhm.
something like what happened, well, according to what happened in Chernobyl, or like here with COVID, it's like this invisible thing. And as humans, it's just hard to understand that. It's like,
Yeah.
and add what you said, Cesar, about like the culture and the society and the norms, it just like compounds everything to create a disaster.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was definitely a recipe for a disaster.
Mhm.
I mean, for me, like, it's just the double whammo was the economy and the staying indoors. Because there's like, I really like how many people work outside in Mexico. I think most people do.
Yeah.
So it's just so
Yeah.
hard to tell someone that's been working outside for 50 years, you can't do what you've been doing for 50 years now, and you have to stay indoors for 2 years.
Right.
They're like, what the fuck? like,
Yeah.
it's just, I mean, I feel like in a more first world country like the US, I don't know. I feel like it's
Is the
different.
US a first world country?
Oh, it's a
I
third
know.
world country with a Gucci belt. You know.
But it's just the type of businesses I think are different a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong.
You got to remember, like, they had Flint, Michigan, and people died from drinking the water. I don't know. I feel like it's easy to see like the shining kingdom of the US, but when you get past those walls, you're gonna see suffering. There's a lot of like shit situations in the US. Like,
Oh no, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying that I feel like more American people I've noticed are more conscious of the effects of going outside compared to the average Mexican person.
Do you think that's goes back to the cultural thing of like Americans being more comfortable being alone or avoiding
I think that's
physical
a big part
touch
of it.
and stuff?
I really
Yeah.
do think that's a big part of it. And I haven't heard any Mexicans say I would still wear a mask. I've heard a lot of Americans say I would still wear a mask.
Yeah.
But like, it's just, I think culture is a really big part of it. It's weird how they overlap, culture and the health crisis. Like, you would think it wouldn't be that big of an effect, but I think it's actually one of the biggest effects, the culture of a country. It's interesting. I think it's going to be super interesting to see, like, maybe like 50 years from now when we can actually see how each country reacted and what the effects were. Because like I saw, for example, there was a country in Africa where they literally just pretended that it didn't exist. And like people looked down on you if you wore a mask. And they were like, oh, it's just like the flu. And then they had like that kind of reaction. So, and then we don't even know what kind of reaction each part of the world has had. So hopefully that will help us be better prepared for future pandemics, to be able to study that.
I think
I don't know, but there's one thing from your cat made an appearance.
Oh, okay,
like
yeah.
Chilling.
He likes chilling out here.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, Josh?
I don't know anymore. I got distracted by the cat.
Yeah, and I'm like,
I was gonna say how this feels like
cats.
It feels like a looming. I don't know. It kind of feels like this, like premonition. Like, I feel like this pandemic really shows us how global warming will affect us, and how people are so unwilling to give up their needs and wants for the better of society. And I'm pretty sure that right now we're living nice and easy, but once the real like global warming crisis starts, I think we're gonna see this, but like times 20. Like the death, the effects, the destruction will be even more. And I think this shows us like a good representation of how unwilling some people just are, like so unable to move beyond themselves for the better of the world around them. And I don't know if like we're gonna survive until 50 years from now. Like, from what I'm seeing, it feels really hopeless. Like, I don't know. I don't see a lot of people really moving in the right direction, giving up things for the better of other things. Like there's people who cry about haircuts. Like, bro, just buy some scissors and cut your own fucking hair, you know? Like, so imagine when you're like, oh no, you can't use gasoline anymore because like we're literally like we're sinking, or like there's the world's catching on fire. People will literally argue, no, I bought my car, I own my car, and I should have the freedom to drive my car whenever I want. So I don't know. I feel like there's very, very like I didn't see any positive things coming from this pandemic more than I see like the complete failure of the system that we've created, you know?
I think that's also part of like news, in terms of negative news sells. And
Yeah.
And even like as
I agree.
you know, I criticize myself even with this statement of, you know, it's much easier to share a story that's outrageous rather than something that's hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, man, look at this fucking shit, and you want to send it to your friend like, oh man, that's fucked up, and so you ignore the stories that where people came together and were successful, and you know,
That gets like
it's-
broomed under the bed.
Mhm.
yeah, and so like we're kind of left with this impression that we're all fucked, and
Yeah.
to an extent, yeah, we are fucked. Like it's not good to just pretend otherwise, but at the same time, there are positive, hopeful stories, but they get buried under the more salacious stories because
Right,
they're
right.
more entertaining.
Yeah, I agree. And actually, like I've heard people talk about like that in, well, social media is kind of programmed for you to share based on emotions. So
Yeah.
if you feel something, it's like boom, you know. So that's a big part of it. And another one is that us as human beings, we're kind of programmed to red flag whenever we see something that could potentially be harmful for us. So that's something we just by nature highlight. So we're just,
Mhm.
I mean, the bad thing is that now it's just we're highlighting all these bad things all the time, and I think that negatively affects
Yeah.
our outlook on life, and I think that may have a bit of an impact on how we perceive our future.
I kind of think of like thinking of our partners. If you have a girlfriend or boyfriend or something, and you're hanging out with your friends, you're not going to be like, "Oh man, I'm so in love," or "My girlfriend did this for me, and like she's the
Mm.
best." You're going to be
You're
like,
just
"Ah,
gonna complain.
yeah." Like you want to like complain and get things off your chest, and so it's almost natural to like focus on the negative because you want to get it out and like have you know, sympathy from your friends or something. You're never going to
Mhm.
be like, "Oh, this is amazing."
That's a
Yeah.
good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just fucked
Someone
up.
should start like trying to share more positive news, because I really don't see it. I don't see a lot of positive stuff happening up in the world.
I mean,
Like
but here's the
you
thing.
have the million Uyghurs in China being locked up. You have the farmer protests in India. You have current slave trades in Africa.
I mean, but hear
You
me out. Like,
have
it's not the first
a
time in
narco state
history.
in Mexico.
It's not the first time in history
You
shitty
have
stuff
the
happens.
Amazon burning, but not in this sheer amount. I think we're up to the 7 billion people number, and I feel like we're gonna collapse under the weight of this, like all of this pressure. You know, I think Siberia is fucking like the Siberia permafrost is burning. It's like melting. Fucking biomass is down 50%. The amount of satellites we shoot up into space is just like creating like a clusterfuck of trash. I don't know. And like, yeah, cool.
But
Like,
space is fucking enormous, dude. I think we'll be
no,
fine
but
in that
like,
sense.
if we shield ourselves with too much shit around our planet, exiting our planet will be impossible. Like, we're just so unaware
I
of
see
like,
that like
you know,
unlikely, honestly.
no, really, going to space has become a commercial thing, and more people are shooting shit up there because they can profit from it. Like,
Mm.
it is becoming a serious issue, and I feel like these issues are stacking. And like, let's just say the narco state of Mexico won't affect the world, but every country is going through like this very like, I don't know. I feel like the society we've set up with government and like religion and all these things, we've given too much comfort. We've given too much to our comforts, and we ignore like this little back problem that's happening, you know? And just because we changed from plastic straws to like paper straws doesn't mean anything's going to change, you know? The real change comes when we start giving up these comforts and like needs that we think we need, and start actually improving for the better.
I mean,
But
that's
I don't
actually
see
how
that happening.
that's
You
how
know?
we've evolved as a species. Like every time
Mhm.
we're always gonna have something. Like there's always gonna be something. It's never gonna be like, yay, there's no problems now.
But
That's
I feel
just
like there was
unrealistic.
less. You know, I feel like now
You feel like because
we've
you wouldn't live there, like you didn't live in that time.
no, but I
Um,
think like in those times you still had space. Like you could still find new lands. Like you could still find new stuff. You could still explore. You could still grow. And like the problems haven't gotten to the point where it would stack upon the earth. I think right now the main problem is like our pollution, like how
Uh-huh.
we treat our planet. Like I think that is the number one problem that we should have started paying attention to 20 years ago. You know, I think we're
But
getting to the
again, it's
point
not
where
the
we're
first
like,
time that we face almost extinction. Like the time where there was a pandemic that killed, like I can't remember, it was a huge percentage of humanity. Like we've faced
but that
pretty
was like
scary
The
in
Black
that,
Death.
the
yeah,
Black
that was
Death.
like a virus
Black
though. Imagine if like the ozone burns up and like no one
But
can
these
breathe in
things don't happen
oxygen, you know?
overnight, and I think there's enough people paying attention to it to start making changes.
I think that's the problem, that we think that there's enough people paying attention to it, but for it to actually be paid attention to, it requires all of humanity, you know?
I feel the opposite actually.
How
That
do you feel?
paying attention is almost the worst thing to do,
Hmm.
in the sense that, right? If you think of in the past, let's say just 100 years ago, maybe you really only knew what was happening in your area. If you want to read the newspaper, yeah, you could read the newspaper and see what
Mhm.
happened in China or France or whatever. But today, if I go on Twitter, I learn about all of these things like, oh my God, there's wildfires in Australia. But guess what? That doesn't affect me. I mean, yes, it affects me as a because the wildfires can affect the ozone,
But
etc. But
worrying about it isn't
my
going to
day
do
to
me any
day,
good, right?
exactly. I can't do anything. Right. Going back to the earthquake example, like when the earthquake happened, I can do something here in my neighborhood to help people. But if there's an
Right,
Maybe
right.
earthquake
building stronger
in Japan,
communities
I
is where
can't
it's
do
at.
anything.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's like a weird,
I don't know.
like what to
I
pay
think
attention
like
to.
I think like we'll be surprised. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like everyone has that mentality, and like that's cool. Like I also am a huge proponent of enjoy your life, live it to the fullest. For one day you're alive, and then the next you're dead. But I think like humans are a little too comfortable with that fact, and like we're not really seeing like the consequences of, maybe we're seeing more things because there's more of us, and because there's more of us there's more things happening, and because more things are happening they'll more
The internet
not,
has a lot to do with that, I think.
I don't know, I think it's just the size of people. I get that information and communication really changed the way we perceive the world around us, but I don't think it affected how things happened, you know? like like half of the Amazon is gone, like a shitload of the Amazon is gone, and that's where we get the most like oxygen in the world. Like
Actually, it's from the
it's just
ocean.
insane, you know? That too. But like
The cows are fucking shit up.
most
Their
of the
farts.
oceans are like overfilling and shit, and like fishes are dying and plankton can't survive because of like the conditions of the sun. So I don't know. I feel like it's gonna stack on us, you know? I feel like we're gonna get to the point where it's like impossible to ignore. And I think it's going to be sooner than later because of like the sheer amount of people there are on the planet. And I think like that's the main thing we're not worried about. How
I
many
think it's
people
just
are
it's not
causing things,
it's not
you know?
ignoring it. It's just not being worried about it 24/7, you know, and
Oh no, I'm not
taking the
saying
steps
I'm
that you
worried
can
about it.
take.
Like homie, I play Minecraft and live it up every day. But I think it's very important to be intellectually aware about things, because once you stop, you become ignorant. And once you become blissfully ignorant, that's the best. I wish I could go back to blissful ignorance. Like I really do. But like it's very difficult to like have a society full of blissfully ignorant people and expect things to be done, you know?
But I feel like you're going to extremes. I don't feel like you like living your life means you're blissfully ignorant. Like you can be aware of the problems that are happening in the world. And like I said, just take the steps that you can take. It's like making change is not so much about the changes being big. It's about, you know, everybody just taking little steps, and it has a compounding effect, you know? And I
But
feel like
who's
as a
taking little
humanity,
steps, you know? Like that's the
as a
problem. I don't
humanity,
see
I feel like
anyone
we
else
have
taking little
like
steps.
advanced, like health expectancy has gone up. You know, you're just focusing on the bad things, and there's a lot of good
guess.
things that have happened, and you're just
I don't-
completely ignoring all of
I
that.
don't
Such a
know.
Debbie Downer, Cesar. Such a
Yeah,
Debbie
I'm such a
Downer.
Debbie Downer.
Yeah, you're
I
just
don't
like
know.
one-sided, I feel That's the thing.
I think I see the good parts in society. Like
It's kind of
I
like
have
what Josh
I
says.
have
You
a
don't talk about like
computer
the good
that's
things. Like
HD.
it's funner to
That's
talk about.
cool, but I am very aware with like the society as a whole and like the consequences of the things we've decided to take in. I don't know. I guess I'm very pessimistic,
Yeah,
you know?
we can agree to disagree.
I think it also
Definitely,
helps.
definitely.
I kind of, the one thing I like about our current situation in terms of thinking about how we go forward is like our parents, for instance, were like, think about your retirement, think about saving money, think
Yeah.
about, when you're older and blah, 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 blah. And now it's like, man, who knows what the fuck's going to happen? And so
Yeah.
enjoy, I don't mean enjoy yourself, like go partying and like do stupid shit, but like, who you're spending time with is important. And
Definitely, yeah.
Maybe like appreciate things more, maybe.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think actually being pessimistic helps me do that even more.
Makes
Like
sense.
realizing the darkness in the world. Actually, like when I like chill out and stuff, it helps me like enjoy it more. It helps me understand that not only am I aware of this planet we're on and shit, and like how we could actually just be hit by an asteroid randomly, or like fucking a mega volcano goes off randomly in North America and it
Yeah.
fucks up everyone. Like
The nihilistic
think-
mindset.
yeah, I think just being aware is something that I can't escape. Like because I look for the positive things in the world, but I don't find them as much as I see the negative things because of how volatile humanity is, you know? Like humans are very ego driven. And so all I see is a lot of people making their own decisions and applying them with their own will and might. And it just doesn't turn out in happy stories, you know?
All right. Well, we got less than a minute left. So closing thoughts, Josh. Anything you want to say to our 5 people audience?
Lovely to see you guys. Fun hanging out. Wish it could be in person.
Yes. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Soon.
maybe in the future.
It would be nice. All right.
But I don't know. If
Cancun.
Kika's moving to Cancun, we don't know about that. So
We're
gotta
gonna
work something
crash.
out.
We're gonna crash in Cancun.
Hell yeah.
Definitely come visit. All right, guys. Peace out then. Enjoy your
Bye.
days. Adios.